Hi everyone, I'm Christy and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. This is a little bit of a different video than what I normally do. I'm going to be talking all about my modeling journey and also how you can get signed as a model. A little bit about myself. Again, I'm Christy. I'm primarily a fitness model, a commercial model, and lifestyle model, but also I call myself a part-time model and a full-time Pilates teacher. So really my life is all about teaching Pilates, doing the work of Pilates on myself, but then also modeling when I have the time and opportunity to. I'm currently based in San Diego and I'm signed with 2 agencies out here in LA in Orange County and 1 back in Boston where I started modeling. As you can see from here and here, I'm not very tall and I'm also a pretty normal sized girl. I'm not what they call street size, which is a certain measurement and a certain height. So typically right now they're going for models who are a minimum of 5'6" to 5'7". That's kind of like the very shortest you'll go. They consider a petite model anything under 5'7". I'm 5'5" if you're pushing it. And also measurements wise, they usually go for a 24 or 25 waist and pretty small hips. I believe it's a 32 in under. Those are not my measurements at all. I usually fit into a size 4 or a size 6, and I'm a 27 in jeans, so if that gives you an idea of what my measurements are. So I'm a pretty normal looking gal. I mainly, like I said, do commercial and lifestyle modeling and a little bit of fitness. And I think that really there is room for everybody, regardless of how you look and what size you are in the commercial and lifestyle modeling industry. So if you are looking to get into it, here are the tips of what I would suggest doing and also how I got into it. And yeah, I hope this video is helpful for you. Let me know if it is down below. Tip number 1 is applying to the right agencies, all right? Obviously, do not apply to an agency if it is a scam, and if you are under the age of 18, please have permission from your parents. So again, if you're under the age of 18, please consult with your parents, make sure you have their permission. All right, so in terms of agencies you can apply for, a good keyword you can Google and put into Google is commercial and talent modeling agencies or print modeling agencies, commercial modeling agencies, etc., etc. Essentially, if you are a petite model, you're likely going to be a lifestyle model on their lifestyle board, and the women board or the men's board is typically street size style model. They sometimes also have a classic board, which is older models, and then also a development board, which is for new models if you have never modeled before. So those are kind of the types of boards that a bigger agency will have. But typically, if you're under a certain size or not a typical sized model, you'll be put into their lifestyle board, which basically just means you're going to do more lifestyle work. So think work like e-commerce or working for Target or Toyota, any of those like big brands and big commercials, you're going to be more eligible for that. So first, start by finding a list of agencies that you can apply to that are in your area, all right? So I would highly suggest, if it's your first time modeling and you've never modeled before, finding a small agency that's in your local area will help you build your book, which is your portfolio, and kind of all your tears, which are just screenshots and pictures of the published work you've gotten. And that will basically help you get into a bigger agency. Another option here is to find a mother agent, but that's typically, again, for more fashion models who are a certain measurement. So that's the way I would suggest doing things. My journey, I was in Boston and got signed with Maggie Agency in 2018, which is an agency in Boston. There are only a few in that city, so I signed with the one that I thought was the best fit for me, and I love my time there. I'm still signed with them even though I live on the opposite coast. And I just really built my book. I learned the lingo, I learned how to audition and do all of that jazz, and I'm still learning now, but I felt like I really was able to build up a book of clients and a resume for my two plus years that I was in Boston modeling. And then when I moved to the Southern California area, I had some existing work. Number 2 is obviously you have to apply to the agencies, and usually most applications require you to have digitals and also your measurements. So you want both of those things to be accurate to what you actually look like, not super photoshopped or face-tuned, of course. So with measurements, just take a soft tape. You can Google how to take model measurements. Typically they ask for your shoe size, your height, your bust, your waist, and your hips. And how to exactly measure your bust and your hips, you can Google that and use a soft measuring tape though for those things. So once you have your measurements down, pretty much every single agency will ask you for all of those things, if not more, like your ring size or your hat size. You also want to have digitals, and most agencies will ask you for digitals or some sort of headshot or portfolio to see what you look like, of course. So to take good digitals, you want good lighting, a blank wall, just like this. You want to be in very plain, tight-fitting clothing, and then typically you want one head-on, 3/4, a profile, waist up, and then full body. Digitals are basically just an accurate representation of what you look like right now and gives the agent an idea of how marketable you'll be. So you want to look like a blank slate. All right, so you've applied, you've sent in your digitals, you've taken them, you've taken your measurements, and you've found agencies around you that seem reputable and like places that you want to join. So what do now? You wait. So basically, some agents will get back to you right away. Some agents will never get back to you, and that means a no usually, or a not now. And then some agents will let you know why it's not a good fit, right? So depending on how many you've applied to, I want to say don't give up. You can apply to an agency multiple times. They will take no, but not in a bad way, right? Like they might see how you're growing and how you're changing in a good way. So don't give up. Apply multiple times if you have to. And yeah, so my journey with Maggie, my first agency, I applied twice actually. The first time I never heard back. The second time I heard back the next day, or like within 10 minutes, and I had an interview set up in person a few days from there. So I can talk about all the other stuff that comes after you secure an agency interview after this, because I've had a few now, but this is basically how to get signed. So after that, typically, if you get secure an interview, it's usually a really good sign. You go in, you meet the agents, they'll give you a contract, and then you'll sign, and then the journey really begins. So in the scenario that you don't get lucky and you don't get a yes right away within the first day, what do? Well, you have to grow as a model, of course. So ways you can do that at home without an agency is build your portfolio, build your book, and get more experience as a model. So that means reaching out to test photographers, modeling with friends, posing in the mirror, taking selfies of yourself with a ring light. All of those things are going to help you get more comfortable with your body, get more comfortable with posing, and get a little bit more experience. And again, you want to reapply to an agency once your book or your portfolio has improved. So that means maybe you've gotten published, or you've done some small modeling jobs through word of mouth that you've gotten, or someone's reached out to you for a sponsorship on Instagram. You could include all of those things. Additionally, something else that might help your application is if you have any special skills. So especially for commercial modeling agencies or ones that require you to have specific skills, like for example, there's an agency that's more of a fitness agency, a fitness and lifestyle one called Sports and Lifestyle Unlimited. They really want you to be an athlete or have some sort of athletic experience. So let's say you were an Olympic bobsledder, right? Or an Olympic figure skater, or even if you are not quite Olympic level, right? Like you are a marathon runner, like I am. I include those things on my application because that means it makes me a more marketable model. So when a running company is looking to hire someone who can run long distances, right? They'll look for someone who actually runs. And that information is all super useful for an agent. So whatever your special skills or hobbies are, you want to include those on the application if you can, and keep developing new ones or keep improving those skills in the meantime. All right, the last few things you can do to improve your application and your portfolio is to build your social media presence. Now, this one's kind of a given, but this is one that I think everyone can do at home. So whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it may be, do all of those things, right? Take pictures of yourself, tag people, use the right hashtags, and grow a following, because when you have a social media following, you seem like a better applicant compared to someone who might not have as many followers, right? Because you maybe are more marketable to clients, and an agency will be more likely to want to sign you if you have a following and if you're shorter. So, right, you kind of have to bring up all these other skills. Like you might be a short model, you might not be street size, but you have a following and you have special skills and you can act and do all these other things, and that makes you someone that they want to sign. All right, so I hope all of that was helpful for you guys. I guess I can tell you guys a little bit more about my story, just I feel like that makes it more personal. So like I said, I was signed with Maggie. I told you the story of how I got signed there. That was back in 2018. So I did quite a few jobs, and to be honest, I wasn't the most like booked model at the agency. Definitely not. I got there were so many times where I was put on a veil or put on hold, which basically just means that they ask you if you're available, and it kind of means you made like the first cut, and then I never actually got the job. Like the summer before I left to come to San Diego, I think I got put on a veil or hold for 5 different jobs within a month and didn't get one of those jobs. And that's really common. Rejection happens all the time in modeling, and it can get you down a lot. But once I moved out here, my agent in Boston connected me with an agency out here called Brand Models. It's in Orange County. So those are kind of the 2 things I do. And I do, again, like I said, mostly commercial modeling. And honestly, there are a lot of small gigs too. So things like real estate or like the National Medical Coding Association. From my perspective, when you want to build your book and when you are a growing model, you take whatever job you get, right? Whether it's as unglamorous as you posing on a couch for a real estate job and it's the back of your head, to something as glamorous as, right, like you are the center star for a commercial for New Balance. It could be a wide range and spectrum of things, and I think any experience on camera, any experience with the crew, any experience being a model and learning the lingo is good experience, and you kind of have to just accept and be like, I'm a developing model, I'm still new and I'm learning. So hopefully all of this is helpful information to you. I'm happy to give you guys more input, more info, so leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you if I can, and make sure to follow me on my other social media platforms because I will definitely respond to those a little more quickly too. Also, again, I'm Christy. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all soon.